Welcome back everyone to my Leeds United career mode to FIFA 19, and we are about to begin Season 2, and our first season back in the Premier League after 2 decades away from it. Actually, no, it hasn't been 2 decades, it's been 15 years, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Nottingham Forest. They've been out of the Premier League for at least 2 decades, but Leeds United have been out of it for 15 years now. And a little bit interesting thing I see at the bottom right there. Landry D'Amato, who's my hero in Season 2, my Zaragoza career mode, is set to move to Stoke City, so that's interesting. Which, Stoke City is one of the teams that got promoted alongside us. And you're probably wondering who the third team was, and it happens to be Blackburn Rovers, who lost their first game 2-1. Who did they lose to? They lost to Manchester United. That's not a bad result, especially since they're top side, but first thing I want to talk about here is I actually want to talk about the transfer budget that I have. So I want to go in here. And you think because of us reaching the quarterfinals in both cups and us absolutely dominating the championship, we'd get a pretty decent budget? No, it's the exact same as what it was last year. How does the board expect me to compete with only 10.5 million? That is the exact same budget I had in the championship. And because of that, I kind of had to wheel and deal in order to get some deals done. But I'll get to more about transfers later. But right now, I want to get into the objectives that the board want me to complete. As far as the league, they want me to qualify for the Europa League, which my team, I think, is good enough to reach the Europa League, but I really wish the board would give me a better budget in order for me to add some more quality players, but unfortunately that just didn't happen. And domestic cup objective, they want me to reach around 16, which, like I just said, I reached the quarterfinals in both the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, so that should be an attainable objective, which, by the way, I should say that Manchester United did the cup double. Not only did they win the Carabao Cup, but they did win the FA Cup final last season. I know I left it a bit of a cliffhanger the last episode of this series, but yeah, Manchester United did win both cups in that competition, so. But yeah, those are my two main objectives. Now let's get to the actual transfers, and as far as players that I brought in, there's really only one player that I was able to bring in, which, let me get into transfer history here. And it's a big one, and it's Mario Götze. I got him from Borussia Dortmund. He was the last year of his contract. Normally, you get him between 40 or 50 million, which I only got him for 22 million, which I think he's a pretty good deal. And he's only 27 years of age. He is 82 rated. He is going to be my starting striker. Kemar Roof, I'm going to move to the left, and Divock Origi, I'm going to move to the right. So, which I'm going to show my starting 11 here soon. But yeah, the rest of my the transactions I made have been departures. As you see here, Corio went to Aston Villa for 825 grand. Pontus Jansson, which used him in my starting center back, I moved him to Wolves for 6 million, considering Jack O'Connell is now at the same overall as he is and a bit younger, so I decided to move Jansen on. Gratu is my striker, which I had on loan last year, which I moved to loan this year. He went to Peterborough for a season-long loan. Patrick Bamford, this one is a bit of a controversial one, but considering I have a plethora of strikers as it is, I decided to move him to Crystal Palace for 3.7 million. And here's another big and controversial one too. Anastasios Donis. I got offers out of the yin-yang for him. And considering that I really didn't have a whole lot of money and I did need to bring in some revenue, I decided to move him on and hopefully get some better players, hopefully. I decided to move him to Espanyol for 9.5 million. Tyler Roberts, I'm sending him out on loan to Swansea City for this season. And I decided to sell my backup goalkeeper, Kiko Casilla, to Celtic for 8.5 million. That way it gives Bailey Peacock-Phil the backup position in case something happens to Unai Simon. And I'm been giving him 2 drills, that way his overall will shoot up a bit. But, yeah, it's been a pretty busy transfer window, though not as busy in terms of arrivals. But as you can see, my starting 11... As I said, my front three are Roof, Götze, Origi. Koke, those of you remember last year, I got him on a pre-contract. He's going to be starting on a left center mid alongside Calvin Phillips, and then I moved Adrian Rabiot to CDM. Though in real life, he does not prefer to be in the CDM position, which I'm actually debating changing the position from a 4-3-3 holding to a 4-3-3 attacking. I'm not sure about that yet. But Timmy Chandler, as you can see, he's my starting right back. He's my surprise player from last season. He's already up to 79. So he's going to be at right back. Alberto Moreno, who another one I got on pre-contract, is my starting left back. He's a 79 rated. And my center back pairing of Nathan Ake and Jack O'Connell, 81 and 78 respectively. Of course, Unai Simon is my starting goalkeeper. And you can see my backup squad. I decided to move Jonathan David to striker. Karaba, 78 rated. I actually could have him starting at right instead of Origi, but I decided to start Origi instead. Hopefully they'll get Origi some time to grow, but Karaba, I have it right. And then one of my Youth Academy players, Frederick Anderson, even though he's a center attacking mid, I have him as a left winger since he's left-footed. He's already a 73 rated. In my center midfielder, I got Marvelous Nakamba that I brought in January last year, alongside Sandro Tonali, who's already at a 77. He's growing nicely. And another one of my Youth Academy players, Marco Vanaken, is already at a 73. He can also play as a center back, but I'm going to have him as a CDM for the time being. Though I may end up replacing O'Connell in a backup squad with Vanaken and putting Barrios back in there. Though I do have Barrios transfer listed. Hopefully I'll get a decent sum for him. But speaking of center backs, Mangala that I got on a pre-contract from Manchester City, I have him as a center back. Alexander Zinchenko I have as my backup left back, though I might end up playing him on left wing at some point. I'm still undecided what I want to do with Alexander Zinchenko, considering he really hasn't grown at all since I bought him, and so far he's looking like a bust. But I do want to give him more opportunities because he is an awesome player in career mode. I bought him several times in my career modes, and he's been fantastic. Hopefully he'll start growing with me in my Leeds United career mode. And my third big Youth Academy player, Patrick Janssen, even though he's a left back, he's right-footed, so I decided to put him as a right back. And then I transfer listed Luke Ayling, who did pretty decent for me, so I'm hoping I get a good amount of money for him. But look at the squad report real quick. Just scroll down here. Jordan Stevens' contract's gonna be expiring in 10 months. Here's their backup goalkeeper. He's already at a 70. I'm expecting him to grow by at least 5 more overalls throughout the season. I'd like for him to be at a 75 by the end of the season. Of course, Calvin Phillips, I was able to tie him up to a long-term contract at the end of last season. Kamar Roof, I'm planning on having him for the entirety of the season. Vernon Anita, his contract's expiring, which he's already gone down one. Liam Cooper, I have him transfer listed, though I doubt I'm going to actually sell him, to be honest with you. Barry Douglas, I have transfer listed. Same with Samu Sace. O'Kane, I have transfer listed. DeGraff, a promising center back, I have loan listed. A promising center forward, Robert Birkland, another one from a Youth Academy along DeGraff, is loan listed. Shabani, who's already at a 71, I didn't even realize that. Hopefully somebody gets him on loan, that way he gets playing time. And a lot of these other players here are either loan listed or their contracts are expiring. And here's Wilmar Barrios. I'm still debating whether or not I want to sell him or not, even though he's 81 rated. He is valued at $19.5 million, and I do want to get a good amount for him if I can. Hopefully a club comes in for him. Isaiah Brown, I do hope he gets loan listed because he's a promising player. And a lot of these other players here are pretty much... But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about here. Oh, hey there, Anthony. I'm trying to think here. Oh, let's talk about the, what happened in season so far. My first game, believe it or not, will be in the next video, is against Chelsea, who happens to be a big rival of Leeds United, which I'm really excited about that. And then I'm also going to play this game against Blackburn, even though I played against them last year. I do want to see what they're like in the Premier League. And I'm probably going to sim these two games, the away game against Cardiff, and even this home game against Tottenham. I know I'm probably going to lose that one in the sim, but I do want to sim these because I do want to end the transfer window as soon as I can. And here is the preseason tournament. I end up drawing against Besiktas here, drawing against Hanover, and I'm beating Sampdoria. And then I end up beating Hertha Berlin in the semifinals, and then I end up winning the final against FC Cologne. So my first place of silverware happens to be the preseason tournament, which really isn't all that big of a deal, but hey, it brought in a good chunk of money. Well, not a good chunk of money, but I think it was like 5 or 6 million. Maybe it was 8 million. I don't know, but it got me a fair bit of money, so I was able to get the Goats a deal done. But hopefully I'll get some more transfer business done. And like I said, the next video I'll be playing against arch rivals Chelsea. So, but thank you guys so much for watching this. I apologize for this being a talky bit of a video, which normally that's what I do in season openers. A bit of a talky bit to talk about transfers and objectives and lineups and that, and then the next video will be actual gameplay. So, but thank you guys so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys again next time.